In RX mode, the radio is using 140 milliamperes. This is in 10 ampere range, 140 milliamperes of current. And I am pressing the PTT. In TX mode, the current increased to 1.2 amperes, that is 1200 milliamperes. And you could see that this LED had lit up. I will test once again. So that means there is a lot of increase in current with TX mode on pressing PTT even without giving any modulation. That is why my friends both over the radio and online suggested that there could be self oscillation. That could also be the reason why there was 9.99 high SWR when I connected my inverted V dipole antenna, which is otherwise a perfectly matched antenna in my FT710 radio with 1:1 SWR. So probably the self oscillation is occurring at a frequency other than 7 MHz so that the antenna shows a high output. And self oscillation could also be the reason why the LED indication is lighting up even without any modulation. So I've been asked to reduce the bias current of the final transistor. That's what I'm going to do now. I have turned the bias setting potentiometer preset, that is multi-turn potentiometer, which you see here, the blue colored one, almost 5 half turns counterclockwise. If you turn clockwise, the bias will increase. Voltage is increasing, practically current also increases. It will be the current which we will be monitoring, but that is the total current, not the current through the gate alone that we are measuring. It will be the total current consumed by the circuit. That's how I have connected this multimeter, that is in series with the power supply. This is the power supply. Now I will try. Let me see whether there is any decrease. There is definite decrease. You can see that the LED is lighting transiently. After that it is not lit up. This is a dummy load. And you can see that now the current is RX, receive current is 140 milliamperes. In TX mode, it goes only up to 250 milliamperes. That is much lower than the 1200 milliamperes when the bias was set to nearly 3.8 volts. That was I had set earlier. When the bias is reduced, there is some initial lighting up of the IC, but then the current takes some time to peak up to 2.5 or rather 0.25, 250 milliamperes. Now let me see what happens if I modulate into this. Hello, 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 hello. I am not finding any increase in the current here. Not significant. It's only up to maximum 260 milliamperes that I went with saying hello. And now I'll try increasing the bias a little more. I've turned it 2 turns clockwise. Let us see. The result is almost similar. There is not much difference. Transient lighting up of this LED is seen. After that, the current which we saw is only around 260. Not 260, it has gone up to 280 as well. Let me see modulating. Hello, 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 hello. I can't see much increase now also. When I gave one full turn clockwise, it went back to the almost previous level. I'm not showing that because I don't want to take a chance too much, because that is 1200 milliampere resting current on TX. That is without modulation. I'll turn back half turn and see. I think I have reached the sweet spot. Let us see. Look carefully at the light here, that is LED here. Hello, hello, hello. Now the LED is lighting up with modulation, but there is no consistent lighting up. That means it is giving some output. Now we will focus on the ammeter during modulation and see what is happening. Hello, hello, hello. Anyway, there is some difference compared to what was there earlier. Hello. I think this is the maximum which I can adjust for time being, and let me try what happens when I connect to the aerial, that means 40 meter antenna. Now I am testing the reception. You can see that the current now is 140 milliamperes. I have tuned to one frequency which is showing a QRM signal, fast signal, very powerful. And if I increase the volume, you can see what happens. As the volume increases, you can see the increase in current drain, almost doubled now. This is another signal, again same effect. I muted the audio now. You can see that the current returns to the baseline value. That is total current drawn by the circuit and not the current through the final transistor. And you can see that there is no power shown, SWR 0. That's because radio is in RX mode. Now I am going to try pressing PTT. There was a transient increase in power up to 4. That is what we have seen earlier also during the testing. We saw that LED lights up initially and then it blanks off. We'll see once again. So that is probably self-oscillation. The SWR is shooting up at that time, 9.99. Now what will be the situation when I try to modulate? Let me see. Because I can see that when I press the PTT continuously, that is not there. Power is 0 now. Hello, 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 hello. I think that transient self-oscillation is still there, but it does not persist when the PTT is pressed. Only difference is that with a lower bias.